Hi! Today is December the 5th. I think it's a Thursday? Thursday? Yeah, pretty sure. It's been a long day. So I've just got back from work again and I thought I would just pop on to show you, or open day 5 of my Yarnia advent calendar. So here's number 5. Ooh. So, Luke. Look at this. Yes, Jonah, look at this. Oh, there we go. Oh, I think I'm a bit further back than I was. Here we go. I'll try and show you without falling off the sofa. Oh my goodness, look at that. That's so pretty. Okay, and it's Nitpick Stroll, and it's hand dyed by Shannon. That's amazing. Gosh. That's so pretty. I hope the light is still doing these colours justice. I'll have to try and show them all in the daylight as well. Here we go, so we've got, I think that was 4, that was 3, that was 2, that was 1. Ah, they all go really nicely together, I think, actually. I'm hoping to add them all to my crochet granny stripe blanket. So hopefully that should, I'll have to make a magic ball, I think, with them all once I've opened them, because I don't think I'll be finished with my current magic ball that I'm using for the granny stripe. Oh, I don't think I've got it here. I think it's upstairs. I would show you otherwise, but I think that's what I'm going to do with my minis. I think that'll be really fun, just because they're all really different as well. So I don't know. See, actually, maybe I'll just add them in where I feel like the colours would go, because I have been sort of trying to graduate through different colours. Decisions. Anyway, tomorrow I should be back on, because I've got the day off, so that should be a bit of a better day, and we've got plans to go to Bath, so that's going to be super fun. So as you're watching this, I'll probably be in Bath. Anyway, I'll speak to you all again tomorrow, and hope you're having a lovely week. Bye! Bye! So I just wanted to film a little sort of stash dive slash tour of my stash and craft room stuff. So here we are. This is my craft room. One day I need to get a sign on the door that reads Yarnia. But one day we'll do that. So I don't really know where to start with this. Here is, let me just see if I can show you. I'll just show you like a, here is the stash. So my stash does need to be organised a little bit better. I wanted to get some of those big IKEA things, shelves, with all of the big squares. I'm hoping to get maybe a 4x4 or 5x5 in that space there, and then the shelves that are there can move to a different part of the house. I just think it would look a lot neater if I just had the one shelving unit, and I think it would provide a bit more storage as well, because I think the cubbies on those are a bit deeper. And then I've got my desk. The chair is currently in Jimmy's office because I've been using that to edit the vlogs, and you can just see, this is the view when I'm sat at the desk. That's the garden and the neighbour's garden and the field over there. Hope the neighbour's not outside. Just thinks I'm just filming their garden, which to be fair I am. So yeah, got little tea light holders here, which I think Jimmy's brother got us for Christmas one year. Got my little crocheted Yoda. I never did make his jacket, sorry Yoda. And a Momiji doll, which I've had since I was a teenager. And then I've got this little jar which I've just put pencils in, and this mini skein which was hand dyed for me by my friend Lydia. And over here we've got my crocheted blanket. Ooh. It is huge, so it's still a work in progress. It's the magic ball I'm working from at the moment. But yeah, that is just living on the desk for now, just because I think I was working on it in bed at one point, and then I can't really sleep with it on the bed. So yeah. And then these are cowl prizes, which I need to draw for the cowl soon actually. I think these are the bags from Emma. Yeah, Eldon Woodcraft in there. Got the skein Fruitful Fusion. And that was the little pin badge by my friend Wendy. It's Clay Pigeon Designs. I think she's Tea Clay on Instagram. And I've got my Swift, and my ball winder is up there. I have all manner of storage boxes. I can't remember what's in a lot of them. What have we got here? Here's where I keep my project bags, which I'm not currently using. Oh, I should get the Christmas one out, shouldn't I? I should get that Christmas one. It's got a Christmassy llama. So, I don't know whether you want me to go through everything. I've got, this is my woodland bag by Emma of Eldon Woodcraft. Love it. One of my favourites. I just love the feel of the fabric as well. Oh, Jonah is barking at something. So yeah, this is my Christmassy one. I can't remember. It was definitely a gift from someone, and I can't remember who it is made by, and I don't think it has a label. Oh wait, there's a label. Oh, that was it. Buttoned up and pinned down. I really like this festive one. I need to get that out and put a project in that soon. Maybe my Christmas socks, I don't know. And then this gorgeousness is from Conchetta of Butternut Handmade. Love that bag. It's perfect for socks. And this is from Homespun House. Homespun House. In a kit I got years ago. But I really love that bag. It's like quite thick interfacing on it, I think is the word. And then this is one of my bags from Hikari. Oh dear. Who is Hikari Handmade. I love it. See the problem with my shelves. I need better storage for my project bags so they don't get all wrinkled and squished like this. It's not fair on them. Or on the makers who've spent so much time making them. These are just a couple of my shawls. A couple of them are my designs, ones that I'm not currently got in my rotation for wearing. So this is my Galactic Rainbow shawl. And then, this is my Salcombe shawl. This one. And then this is my, it's the honeydew shawl. So that's just a few that I'm not currently wearing. I may need to get the honeydew shawl out though, because that one is a DK weight and it is definitely DK shawl weather now. And in this little box I've got a couple of gift knits, so I won't show you those. A couple of socks. I'm wearing pom-poms, and I've also got these, which I was meaning to show you actually. These are the cinnamon apple socks, and I just thought I would show you because they would be quite a good advent project if you just wanted a smaller advent project to use your minis. I might cast some on, I'm not sure yet whether I've got time. I've got so many socks on the needles already, and some of them I really need to get finished soon. So yeah, I just thought I'd show you this because you can use as much or as little of each colour as you want. The pattern is quite easy to adapt. It's more like a recipe, and it explains how to achieve the look you want. So whether you want like really big stripes, sections of colour, you could do a big fade. Or you could do like scrappy style socks like these, and just use like little sections of colour. So, oh, it might help if I showed you on the sock blocker. Okay, so you can just see there's a really lovely slip stitch pattern which creates this zigzag at each colour change, and then you've got a bit of a texture as well. If I show you from this sort of angle. Yeah, I thought they would be quite nice. An idea for Advent minis if you wanted to use those. And then any leftovers you could just put into a scrappy blanket sort of thing. Jonah's just hiding here under the desk. Good boy. Because it's warm near the radiator. Okay, so moving on through the stash. That's just boring paperwork. Packaging and rubbish. Oh, this is where whips go to die. This dark corner. So, this was a Weasley sweater which I started making for my sister, and the colour just was not what we thought it was going to be, and I wasn't very happy with how the yarn was knitting up for that particular project. So I've got a sweater quantity there of, it's just Drops Charisma, but the colour that we'd ordered online, it wasn't exactly how we thought it was going to be. Didn't think it would have these red section, sort of like red speckly heathery bits in. So it wasn't what we had in mind for that sweater, so that's there. And then this gorgeous yarn I absolutely love. I thought I would have enough to make a cushion cover, and I did not. So that's sitting there. It's super chunky. That's sitting there until I can figure out what it wants to be. So yeah, and then in here I think old patterns and things like that. Yeah, old knitting and crochet magazines. Got my blocking mats under here, which are actually kids' play mats. They're only about £5 on Amazon. Then in here, I'm showing you all the boring bits first. In here is half finished, or not half finished, but skeins which are got about half left, or they're already caked up. So we've got quite a few in here. Can't remember what that was. This one I really love. My mum got me this from Florida. I know, Jonah, I know. Don't put your nose on the lens. I really love this. I'm just need to figure out what to do with it. I know. You can't have that one, no. Then we've got some... Oh, Jonah. Stop licking things. Stop licking everything. Jonah. Stop it. And then that is some Nora George, left over from my pavement sweater. This is left over from my soiree. This is left over hand spun. Jonah, stop licking the camera. Stop that. He's crazy. I know. That box there is my saxophone living in there, which is interesting fact about me. I can play the saxophone. I've been playing since I was... how old was I? Maybe 8 or 9? I definitely played it in primary school. Just things which I've skeined up. Sorry, not skeined up, balled up. And are now either leftovers or skeins I've not started, but just in, I haven't got room on the shelves for them, and I suppose it keeps them quite safe in here. And so yeah, that was in there. Now on to here. Let me just stand up. So this little heart garland I've got along here has just got loads of different little cards that I've received from like crafty friends and podcast viewers since I've started. I have also included the these little pictures which came with the Beehive Yarns Mad Men sock club, which was at the start of this year. I got 3 of those because I just like them and I love Mad Men. Living in here, these are all my needles. So I've got DPNs, Chowgoo, interchangeable set. I have got a higher set, but that's living downstairs because I'm using things with my floozy. This was my first ever interchangeable needle set, which was the Knit Pro Symphony, I think. The wooden ones, which are all multicoloured. Then I've got straight needles, which live in here. Some of my sock blockers. I think some of them are downstairs. Got this candle, which is just about being held together in one piece by its... yeah, it's all falling apart. But then along here, these are all my knitting books and pom-pom quarterly magazines. And yeah, also crochet books. Got 500 crochet blocks and Creepy Cute Crochet, which is amigurumi. And I've also got a little Star Wars one from where I made the Yoda. Ah, also another mini amigurumi. And all these pom-pom ones since I was collecting them. I stopped my subscription just because I wasn't knitting as many things out of them as I would like to have been. Then I've got a sock knitting book. Let me just move this broken candle. Oh gosh. Okay, so we've got Sock Knitting Masterclass, which I think is by Anne Bird. Yep. Then we've got Knitting Brioche, which is Nancy Marchant. She's like the brioche guru, so if you need to know anything about knitting brioche, that would be the book. Then we've got Alternate Stitch Dictionary, which is all about colourwork knitting. I haven't used that very much yet. One Random Lane magazine, which my mum gave me. I think she got it from someone in her knit group and she's not going to make anything, get the use out of it. Then I've got Texture by Hannah Fettig. And there is a pattern I really want to knit in here. which is, it's the cardigan. It's like one of the fingering weight cardigans I really want to knit. That's going to be on one of the next things I make. Then this Japanese knitting stitch Bible. This really is a Bible. It's got so many beautiful patterns in there. I definitely recommend that. That is one of my most used stitch dictionaries. And this one is also a great stitch dictionary. This is probably the one I use second most. And it's just got a lot more basic, simple patterns. This Japanese one is mostly lace. It has some cables, but it's a lot of intricate lace patterns. And then this one is a great all-rounder first stitch dictionary, I would say. And I've also got quite a variety now. Also got this Nora Gorm's knitted cable source book, which is really useful. It's got some really nice, interesting cables, all from the simple all the way up to the very intricate, and it also explains how to create your own cables as well. So that's a really useful one. And this one, The Art of Slip Stitch Knitting, is all about mosaic knitting, which is really interesting. And I have included elements of that in at least one of my designs now. Oh. Okay, then we've got Compendium of Knitting Techniques. I don't use that very much anymore. It's more of like an overall guide to various techniques within knitting. And the Knitter's Handy Book of Top-Down Sweaters by Anne Budd. That is a really useful guide to top-down sweaters and all of the different construction methods. So you can see you've got yoked sweaters, raglan, set-in sleeves. What else? I'm not sure. And then it covers cardigans as well, I think. Yeah, and it does come with some patterns in there, but it also acts, it has like charts, which show you sort of, it's like a recipe or a guide to creating a sweater that will fit you. So it's really, really useful. And then, what was this one? The Knitwear Design Workshop. I can't remember what this, oops, I can't remember what this one's actually like. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, it was a bit more to do with traditional sweater construction and garment construction. It was very much about piecing things together. I didn't really get on with this at all. I mean, nowadays a lot of people design patterns for knitting in the round, and this was just nothing to do with that at all. But I suppose it did have useful information on how to measure correctly, and all sorts of different constructions. It was quite a technical book, but it wasn't really for me. And what else? Oh no, I've got one more and I dropped it. This is why these shelves are not working. This one, which is now given up. Complete Guide to Crescent Shawls by Julia Reed. I didn't really love this book either, because it's more like just a PDF that has been turned into a book, like some sort of leaflet that's been turned into a book. I don't know. It it covers like different shawl constructions, but it wasn't really a complete guide. And it did include some basic maths, but it didn't include, yeah, it just didn't include as much as I wanted. And I didn't really like the style or layout of the book either. So, sorry about that. What else? Okay, onto the actual yarn. So at the top we've got sort of like single skeins of fingering weight. These are not, these are leftovers from designs. That's the leftover from my acorn hat, and these are the leftover from my Frosted Peaks hat. I will just move those out of the way. So yeah, these are all, I've got self-striping right at the top. Let me move that. That's part left over. That should be in the case. That's also a thing which should be in that bag. So yeah, we've got self-striping here. We've got Nomadic Yarns, and that's the Bellatrix Lestrange colourway. Then we've got Dragon Hill Studio. I think I picked this up at Unravel. And it's this, yeah, it just reminded me of like licorice. I do like about their yarn is that it shows you the sort of like self-striping sequence. And then we've got another Nomadic Yarns. And this one is, I think it's the Knit Folk. Yeah, that's the Knit Folk colourway. Kind of similar colours to that one. And then I've also got a Lay Family yarn, self-striping, which I think, what was the colourway? Rose Garden. It's a really beautiful springy colourway. And then we've got, oh gosh, right, London House Yarns. This is my only London House Yarns. And this was a Valentine's Day colourway, and it's Love Song. Really pretty. Right, I might find it easier. I don't know. It's going to be too difficult if I try and get everything out to show you. So, oh, this one should be over here. So I've got all my Mr. B's yarn in one place, pretty much. So we'll see if I can remember what things are and colourways. That is Mr. B's yarn, the snowman one, Walking in the Air, that was it. Just got that at Flock. This is Mr. B's yarn, that was their Flock colourway, Meet the Flockers. This is Mr. B's yarn, I can't remember the colourway, but it is a Mr. B's yarn. This is Mr. B's yarn, Just Rust. This one's Mr. B's yarn, Honeysuckle, I think. I think those are all of my Mr. B's yarn single skeins now. Then we've got Fruitful Fusion. Can't remember the colourway of that one, but I do love that. That's a Knit Away, just at the bottom here, this gorgeous purple, and a sock blank, which I think is called Chasing Pavements. This is a travel knitter. That's like, I only used like 10% of the skein, so I skeined it back up for that one. And these are from my friend Lydia. Let me just get that. The right yarn, there we go. And I think that one is Iris. This one I think was Chai Latte. And that one, it was something to do with Lord of the Rings. And maybe to do with the elves. Oh, I don't know. Oh, and this is Lay Family yarn. I think that's the Umbridge, Professor Umbridge colourway. And this was dyed by my friend Wendy. It's got blues and greens, it's gorgeous. Is that everything in that cubby? I think so. And then we've got more single skeins here. Oh, I've got a random packet up there, sorry about that. This is Pixie yarn. Can't remember the colourway name, sorry. I really love it. This was the Advent vinyl skein from my Dandelion and Dogwood Advent calendar last year. This is Moonstone Dye Works, and that was her 2018 Halloween colourway. This is Dye Bath, and that was a I think it was Elf is the colourway. Yeah, and that was a Christmas skein I picked up last year from Wool Bath. This is Berenbuller, I think is how you pronounce it. That's the only skein I've ever had from her, and she now no longer dyes, so it's very precious. This was from my sister, I can't remember. That's a Kate Celine. This is Pinata by Stranded Dye Works. This was also from my sister, can't remember who that was. This is Leading Men Fibre Arts, I believe. Yep, Jimmy picked that up for me in Chicago, so that's very special. And this one is also Leading Men Fibre Arts, which he got from the same place. This is, now I'm going to swear here, this is Shit Tea and Tray Bake by the Countess Ablaze. That was a special skein. This is Chromatic Yarns. I love this. What was the colourway name? Tressim. It's something to do with Flying Cat, I think. It's all Dungeons and Dragons themed, which I wish I was into, but I didn't have friends that were into that particular thing. This is a drag race themed colourway, which is from Stranded Dye Works. And which one was this? Reading is Fundamental. I had to have that. I just had to. This is Green Lambkin yarn. Very pretty and sparkly. Then we've got Sweet Sparrow knits. Sweet Sparrow yarns, sorry. In the Tutu colourway, and that's the Merino Cashmere Nylon. Love this one. This is Hetero Yarns in a very neon crazy one. This is Purple Lanes. This, who's this? I think I won this one. Yarny Love. I think I won that one in a giveaway at one point. Really pretty. Then moving on. These are some minis, which I got from my mum for Christmas once, by All Wool That Ends Wool. I have used one or two of those, but they are super useful to use as heels, toes and cuffs. Then I've got a couple of sport weight skeins here. These were all picked up from a yarn story. The middle one is Primrose Yarn Co. And these two, either side, are Labianime. If anyone wants any further detail, like colourway names about anything I'm showing, just let me know in the comments and I will let you know. Okay, so this here is from Niche, which was a yarn dyer in New Zealand. I don't know if she dyes anymore, but they come in 50-gram skeins, so I got two of those, enough to make a pair of socks. And then I've got a half skein there in a mustardy colour. And then we've also got half a skein, sorry, no, a full skein, 50-gram skein of Quince & Co. Finch, which was left over from my herbarium sweater. I really, really love that yarn and that base. It's just so squishy. I really want to make some more with that at one point. And what have we got here? We've got some mini skeins. So yeah, this cubby is sort of like a bit of DK, a bit of sport weight, and then some sort of odd things that don't seem to fit in anywhere else. So I've got a mini skein set, hang on. And this is by Sherry Iris. I really, really love her yarn. And I really, really love how she stitched the label, the ball band. I think she's probably done that herself because she's really good like that. And this was the Pride and Prejudice, Jane and Mr. Bingley. I'm not a huge Pride and Prejudice person, but I do really love the colours. I was hoping to use those in a project together at some point. I don't want to split them up. Oh, sorry about the crinkling. This is a skein of Eden, well, it's a ball of Eden Cottage yarn, and it's on their Hayton 4-ply base, which is super soft. I think it's got cashmere in it. I can't remember what else. It might be silk, cashmere and merino or something like that. But I broke into that to use in a project, a tiny bit of it, and I shouldn't have really broken into it. So that's why it's in a ball, in a cake, not in the skein form. There's only a little bit of it missing. Then, oh, got some more minis. Oh, this was dyed by my friend Stevie. She has a podcast, but she's not filmed for a while because she had a lovely baby. And then we've got some more minis. These are from my friend Jan. All of these, they're all sparkly, and I think she's going to be starting her own shop at some point, so I will let you know when she does. And then this was, oh, this is from Knit One in Chicago, and I think it's their own yarn that they dye. So it's a yarn shop in Chicago, and Jimmy, that's the yarn shop I send Jimmy to every time he has to go to Chicago for work. So I'm very lucky I get to send him there, and one day I hope to go myself. That shop looks amazing, and I'd love to visit Chicago at some point as well. It's definitely on my bucket list. And then I think the rest of these are all DK. So we've got some Chester Wool Co. here. It's got these neps in it. Then we've got a sparkly DK, which is Dusty Dimples. Really love that. Then we've got some Vicky Brown designs here. Ooh. And this is going to be one of those bunnies at some point, because I think that uses DK, and I've got someone in mind to make one for. Then this, ooh, what was this? Oh, Erica Knight Wild Wool, and it's got nettle in it, so it's like a natural, completely natural, so it's getting a bit blown out here. Bit closer to the colour, yeah, but it's still getting a tiny bit blown out. Colour is it? Sorry, that is, the colour is Brisk. Sorry, it's Jonah barking at someone posting something through the letterbox. And oh, these two skeins, I don't know who the dyer is, but I picked them up from my friend Lizzie's D-stash earlier in the year, and they both look really cool. So I don't have plans for them yet, but I needed more DK in my stash. I was a bit heavy on the fingering weight and didn't have much DK, so I just really liked the neutral colour in this one and the speckles in that. And here I've got two skeins of Paca La Alpaca, and if you haven't seen her yarns, you need to. And this is like a DK single ply, and it's the squishiest base. I need to, it's like knitting with clouds. because I did have 2 of a different colourway, and I used those in the honeydew shawl. What's that? Oh, that is from a different thing. Anyway, I've got 2 of those, so I need to think of something to do with those. Maybe a cowl. I thought maybe a cowl would be good with 200 grams of DK. We shall have to see, won't we, Jonah? We will see. Yeah, good boy. And over here we have sweater quantities. So I've got, oops, sorry, Jonah is just moving the camera. I've got a sweater quantity of Travel Knitter. I love Travel Knitter. It's the Puddle Dion colourway, and this is her pure merino sock base, so that's a 4-ply. That is a discontinued base, but she now does a BFL 4-ply, which is really, really good too. This is, I did show on the podcast previously. It's been over-dyed for me by my friend Claire of Mr. B's Yarn, and it's a really interesting base. It's like a merino, mohair and nylon, I think, but it's 4-ply sweater quantity there. Then this is my only DK sweater quantity. Oh no, it's not. No, I have one more. But this is Beehive Yarns, and I think it's in the Blackberry Lips colourway. It's getting blown out a little bit. It's much darker than it is appearing on the screen. If you look at the shadowy bits, that's the actual colour. Well, it's not really. It's just not working. But I have a sweater quantity in that. I'm just waiting for the right project. Then here I've got a sweater quantity of Mr. B's yarn in the Bonfire Night colourway, which I really, really love. I picked up 4 of that one because I was going to use it for a particular cardigan, but then I decided I didn't want to use a speckled yarn for that cardigan, so I need to find the perfect project that needs 4 skeins. I think maybe a sweater would be better than a cardigan for a speckled yarn for me, just because it'll be more of a statement piece then. And then last but not least, oh wait, it's not even the last, so forget that. This is Travel Knitter as well, and this is in the Jazz Age colourway, and it's just this beautiful green. This is quite deep stash now. I've had that quite a few years, so I need to, oh, I think I've had it at least 2 years. Still waiting for the perfect project, but I love it nonetheless. Then moving into here, there's a couple of leftovers from my Enchanted Frond of Let Lopey. Oops, sorry, I'll just move those. Then I've got a couple of skeins of my own hand spun yarn. So this one was John Arbon. I think it's the Bramble colourway on their Harvest Hues range, which I think contains some Svarbles. And then this beauty is one I spun up earlier from Spin City UK. I've forgotten the colourway name, but it reminds me of a goldfish, so I might just call it goldfish. And then this is New Zealand yarn, and I think it was Utiku. It's 100% pure wool, and it is a DK weight, I believe, or an Aran, but it's 200 grams there, so it's quite a lot to work with. Super squishy. I did have another one of those, and I used it in my honeydew shawl, so that was that. Then I have got a sweater quantity of this, which is Madeline Tosh DK, and you can see it has been knit up before, This was once a boxy worsted, and I knit the entire thing, and I just didn't love the way it looked on me. It just didn't suit me at all. Actually, yeah, this is that's more accurate colour representation, I think. Yeah. So it's, I think it was their firewood, or I've forgotten what it was called, what colourway it is, but it's definitely Madeline Tosh DK. Oh, I might have a ball band. That is not the correct ball band. You can see how well organised my stash is. I'm sure it was something to do with firewood, this colourway. It's looking a little bit brighter than it actually is in real life. But I've got a sweater quantity there, which will one day become something, hopefully. And let me just put these back. Oh, I have got some stuff which is for baby knits there. I have quite a bit of yarn for baby knits, just because I end up knitting things for people who have babies at work. Oh dear. So yeah, a lot of this. Oh, that's leftovers from a sweater that I knit. Can't remember the name of it. Oh, the Coivoire. It's a Caitlin Hunter pattern, colourwork. And that's John Arbon. And yeah, these are all sort of leftover bits, acrylic yarns which I picked up when I'd first started knitting, and stuff I've bought for baby knits. Willow and Lark is really nice. I used that for my sister's sweater. And this, very deep stash, but I just never found the right project. And then in here is just more acrylic stuff. Just trying to contain that in that box. And the only other thing I've really got... Oh no. No, there's this. I've just got 3 skeins here, which I really love. Sorry, Jonah is now lying on me, so I'm trapped. He's on my leg. I'm just going to have to move him. There we go. I'll just get out of the way of the light. We've got 3 skeins here. And I just like to put some of my favourite ones in here. Just because I feel like they're on display. This one, I'm going to have to smell it. Hang on. I love the smell of this one. This was a gift from my friend Hikari. And it is Farmer's Daughter fibres, and it smells so sheepy. I love it. And it's the colourway Lonesome Dove superwash merino wool, 100% superwash merino. I love it. So that's that lives in there because it's very special to me. And then we've got another Packer La Alpaca. Really love this one. This one is Belle Epoque, I believe. Super squishy. And then we have, this one's special. This is a Nora George yarns, and I believe this is the Toffee Apple colourway. It's sparkly. So that will become a really beautiful pair of socks one day. Day has not yet arrived. So I like to have a few of my favourite skeins on display just in there. And then we're on to the fibre stash. I have a very small fibre stash, I think, compared to a lot of people, but I did only start spinning this year. Oh, I've also got my London loop bag here. That's just got other tote bags inside it. But if I can just get around Jonah, I can show you the fibre stash. So I will pull some of this out. So I still need to decide what my next spin is going to be. I've got these gingerbread rollags, but my last spin was rollags. So I'm not sure if I want to do rollags again or
not just yet. Then, excuse the crinkling, I'm just going to get everything out. Oh, I showed you some of these the other day anyway. Right, so this is my fibre stash. So these two here are John Arbon, and I bought those at the same time as this colour. So we've got, I've forgotten the name of that one. I think that one might be Evergreen? Oh, I don't know. But I bought the three together with the intention of knitting them all together once they're all yarn. And it was really fun to spin. So I don't know whether I'll do those again next. I really like how the yarn turned out as well. It's like super squishy and bouncy. It was, I did spin it quite a while ago though. And I need to probably spin those sooner rather than later before my spinning changes. I don't know. I'll just pop that back. So I've got those are options. But I get excited by the colour changing ones. Yes, in here, let me just open this up. Okay, so I've just got a few things out of the bags. So I've forgotten where I got this from. Ah, here it is, Hilltop Cloud. This is a really beautiful fibre. Quite excited to spin that at some point. I feel like it's quite an autumnal one. And it's Romney Silk and Linen. So that will be really nice when I get to spin that. Then we've got, this is the same Hilltop Cloud, but it is a gradient. So I was thinking I could do a chain ply for this, or some sort of different thing, I don't know. And it is Corriedale, Yak and Rose. It's super soft actually, that one. I really love the feel of that more than this one. Super soft. And then over here we've got this bat. It's like an art bat, and this was from Spin City. And it's the sushi colourway. And I had my eye on this when I'd looked at their stuff online before I went to their stall at Unravel, so I knew I was going to pick this up, and it was the last one, so yay. Then we've got this gorgeousness from Pixie Yarn. Oh, it's so beautiful. I feel like I might save that for a spring or summer spin, possibly. I think it's merino, pure merino. And I'm really tempted by these beauties, which I showed you the other day. They're all from Cat and Sparrow. So I'll have to make a decision, Jonah. Which one do you think? You'll just go for whichever one smells the strongest of fibre. And smoosh your face into it. So yeah, that was pretty much... Oops, sorry. So yeah, that's pretty much my entire stash, I think. Don't think I've got anything else downstairs. Obviously I've got project bags downstairs with like current whips, but this is not a podcast in the traditional sense, so I won't be getting out the whips. They will get shown as they get knit on. So yeah, Jonah is just lying here next to me. Oh, I know, puppy. He just wants cuddles. He wants to sleep all day and have cuddles. And who can blame him? Hey, Jonah? I know. Good boy. Okay, so I will leave that there. I don't know which day I'm gonna put this in, but whichever day it is, I hope you're having a good one, and I'll see you again soon.